Let's do some drop-off line sports. Little haircut 100 in the background. Man, here's what's funny. I had a really good weekend. I'm tired from it, but I had a really good weekend. The sports teams around here had a sucky weekend. I mean, a bad weekend. Yesterday was one of the worst Colts games ever. Heath and Brian Moore, good morning. Thanks for hopping on here. Drop-off line sports. So, the Colts go to Jacksonville and get shut out. And you know what really sucks about it? I mean, obviously, the whole playoff picture. Sean Patrick Turley, Gary Hudson, good morning. Scott Sargent's on board. More than anything else was that all that crap talking by Jalen Ramsey, man, he backed it up, you know? He backed it up. No points, goose egg against Jacksonville. That was embarrassing. That was flat embarrassing. And listen, 5-game win streak against bad team. I mean, you can all view it. 5-game win streaks are still difficult in the NFL no matter what. But to see it end in that fashion and not score, oh, it was sick. And I mean, offense was terrible. Luck didn't play well. Offensive line didn't play well. Nobody played well. Frank Reich didn't coach well. Just terrible. J.D. Waldrop, Aaron Wayne Scott, my man, John Bennett's there. What happened yesterday? They couldn't do anything offensively. Flat Steve wants to know if there's a Jawan Morgan update. I haven't heard one just yet, only what Archie has said. That would be a huge blow to Indiana. Indiana didn't look like great either. They got to win, though. Purdue looked horrible, getting blown out by Michigan. Michigan's pretty good. The Pacers dropping one in Sacramento. Did you watch the end of that game in Sacramento on Saturday night? Rick Clark's watching. Good morning, Rick. Brian Bartlett says Colts playoffs not for long. Yeah, it was embarrassing. This team lost and the Bengals. Expectations too high. Yeah, it was embarrassing yesterday. You can't say that was embarrassing? I don't care if they lost to the damn Bengals in week 1. It was embarrassing yesterday. Embarrassing. Well, how else you want to put it? Ridiculous. You don't score any points. I mean, when you have the opportunity to put points up there, I mean, things could have been different had, I don't know, maybe you just go ahead and left the points up on the board, right? So, yeah, I thought that was embarrassing yesterday. I did. Listen, I don't care what the expectations were. A goose egg in Jacksonville, you know, getting lit up by that defensive line and that defense getting after the quarterback, that really hasn't done it this year. Come on. Sean said, I just saw the defensive look in the second half, the first game. Reich, worst game plan. Reich didn't look good at all yesterday. Frank Reich, coach of the year, not for long. Aaron Wayne Scott, hey, JMV from Oklahoma. Hello, Aaron in Oklahoma. Michael Speaker says the Boilers going to Music City Bowl. That'll be fun. I think that's the weekend the Colts are down there for the Titans game. Is that true, I think? They get Auburn in the Music City Bowl. Plus, you know what you got? Got Notre Dame in that Final Four, right? Ari says, you forgot to talk IU soccer with Fish. I did, which was understandable given Trace Jackson Davis. Yeah, that kind of blindsided me just a little bit, so all good. Corey Hall said, we could have won 9-6. Exactly. Man, sometimes field goals and sometimes just ties and field goals, just take it. Just take it. I mean, that would have been one of those games where you can gut it out and grind it out, but you still win. And then the way that happened was bad. Really was. Hey, good morning, Jay. Drop-off line sports. Colts, awful yesterday. Rick Venturi at 5 today will explain the awfulness to you. Brian said, what's the stats on the teams firing a coach and winning the next week? How about Green Bay? Green Bay let Mike McCarthy do the press conference and then just punted him out of there immediately. Heath Bartlett says, I'm also sick of some of the IU fan base attacking Archie and Romeo for no reason. I haven't really seen that yet. So, I'm not saying that doesn't exist. Johnny Ray says, ready or not, here comes the Texans and the Cowboys. Yep. And you can't afford to really lose another game here. Let's just face it, right? I mean, listen, I wasn't banking on. I thought they were going to lose one more game. At least one more game, right? I didn't think they were going to go down and lose in the fashion in which they did yesterday. Pete says Colts had a bad day. They did have a bad day. Rick says Costanzo looked like an Arena League recheck yesterday. He got worked, didn't he? Worked. Sean Patrick Turley, sometimes you can't rely 100% on analytics and success percentages, which I think Reich is. I don't know. I just think he's kind of the guy to go for it. And I don't think yesterday, with the way that game was shaping up, that was a day to go for it. That was a day to kick the field goal, take it, see if your defense could grind you out something at the end. Just a thought. Doug Wiggin. Hey, by the way, too, got to thank to everybody. The Yacht Rock Revue was sold out at the Mural on Saturday night. It was a great time, man. Great time. Brad Bowden says, nice background tunes. Thanks. You hear that Depeche Mode in the background? And a Haircut 100? This is Madonna. I don't know about this. Open your heart. What's this? Amy Stewart, Knock on Wood. Where else we going here, buddy? Doug Hall says Costanzo looked like a turnstile. Brian Bartlett says Colts defense only gives up 6 and you can't win. Exactly. Bob Chambers, I've missed most of today's conversation, but you have to get the points. You do have to get the points. You do. Like I said, I thought they were going to lose at least another game. I didn't think they were going to win out or anything. But what was embarrassing about the way they lost yesterday is that you still could have won. I mean, and you lost to that really undisciplined mess that is Jacksonville. That sucks beyond suck. I mean, they kept trying to give it away. You lost to Cody Kessler. Luck was terrible, don't get me wrong, man. Luck was terrible. I love Andrew Luck, but he was terrible yesterday. Man, there's no doubt. Darnell, good morning. Anyway, Rick and I had the conversation at 5 today. Connie Kraft Cook is watching. Thank you. I watched the end of the Sacramento Pacer game on Saturday, and that was terrible, too. It's not a good weekend. Bad sports weekend. Good entertainment weekend. Gary Hudson said, taking points off the board rarely works out. Correctamundo right there. Could have been much different, couldn't it? No doubt. Still, though, I mean, put it in the end zone. Put it in the end zone. Bob says, now watch them throw up 35 against the Cowboys. You got to go to Houston next week. I think Houston with a win. Can they clinch? They haven't clinched yet, Houston, right? I think they can clinch with a win, obviously, on Sunday. Yeah, Corey also says use Vinatieri. And don't take the points off the board, just go with it. My point is that yesterday you saw how that game was going. You saw that points were going to be at a premium. Take them. Take them. And then see what happens at the end. Darnell Booker said, hey, what's your take on the Cinegrove situation? All right. The Cinegrove situation, really nice kid, free throw line. And you have a distractor, free throw distractor, doing something behind the basket. Here's my take on it. My take on it is incredibly wrong. Now, if you don't know the background story, the kid at the free throw line has battled epilepsy. Has had a couple of surgeries because of it. He's at the free throw line, and the Cathedral fans allege that this kid in Center Grove was deliberately acting like he was having an epileptic seizure to be a distractor, thinking it's funny. And then even the player himself and his mother said that they heard, why don't you have a seizure or something like that, which is absolutely positively wrong. There's no doubt, absolutely wrong, ridiculously wrong. Here's my point, though. And the Franklin kid seems like a really nice kid, really nice family, and that does suck. It does. All right, so it happened. So what do you do from here? You try to, I think, move on and learn from it. Obviously, that kid needs discipline. I know if that happened, that you need disciplinary measures there. But I'm not for wrecking anybody at the age of 18's life over stupidity like that. I'm not. I mean, either way, I would say it either way. And I'm sure the IHSAA probably needs to do some sort of investigation, have conversation with it too. I do. I feel bad for the kid at the free throw line. That stuff just that happens. You just need to apologize. You need to understand why it shouldn't happen. But I don't think you also need to crush the kid that did its life. You know? I mean, man, social media is tough. I'm lucky I didn't have to deal with social media, and so are a lot of you that are old as I am. Because, I mean, we did a lot of stupid stuff that if that was caught on tape, we would all be screwed. I'm not for that either. I'm not for it either way. I tell you what I am for. I am for that Franklin kid. That Franklin kid seems like a very stand-up kid. I'm for that. But I'm more, I think, for obviously discipline. for a punishment, because if that was the case, that is deserved. I wasn't there. I'm just going by what is said. Like, I give you a great example. I had a bunch of people send me the video before they found out what had taken place, and I didn't really know what it was about. I look at it this way. I'm not going to. While I want to show sympathy for the kid and for the situation, I don't want to crush another 18-year-old kid forever either. So I don't know. What is the right? What's the right punishment here? Like expulsion? Can't go to games anymore? I tell you what. This kid, for what he has, allegedly done, what he has done, whatever, has taken a hell of a lot more punishment than anybody in my day would have for this. I mean, just for social media alone. So it's just tough. It's tough for me. It's tough for me wanting to certainly sympathize with a really nice kid, but at the same time not wanting to crush the other kid. So completely crush him. I mean, yeah. The dude's 18, and you do stupid crap. You do incredibly stupid crap. I think at the end of the day, it's understanding, apologizing, being sympathetic to it. I think that's kind of the way we move forward here. So, just a thought. I mean, you can hold people accountable for that crap. I mean, you can hold Cedar Grove, if it's true, accountable for it. Yeah, I feel bad. It sucks. That really does suck. John Arnold says, I'm just glad social media and phones with GPS weren't a thing. When I did a ton of boneheaded stuff, man. I mean, a ton of boneheaded stuff, but it was never taped and put on Twitter, and it was never brought up in this fashion. I don't know. I mean, you guys can come up with what you think the appropriate punishment is. I think this, obviously, something in school is probably going to have to happen if true, right? I wish we all just kind of understand and not necessarily, especially adults. I mean, kids are going to act like kids, right? But I mean, adults crushing this high school kid. I mean, at some point you kind of got to back off a little bit, I think. So, but I feel bad for the Franklin kid. But I will say this: the Franklin kid, I think, has shown a great deal of maturity. That I certainly, even if I was in his situation. If I was in the kid at the free throw line situation, I wouldn't have, and that was going on to me, I wouldn't have shown that level of maturity. It's easy for me to sit here, right? Easy for me to sit here and say, hey, this is what should happen, this is what shouldn't happen. But it was just kind of my thoughts all weekend. I mean, I watched what was going on social media, and there was, as it should be, a great deal of sympathy and understanding for the Franklin kid from Cathedral, but at the same time, I think you can kind of overdo it in the crushing of the other kid. I just do. Anyway, just a thought right there. We'll talk about it a little bit more, I'm sure, coming up later on today. I was trying to think of some of the wildness, and this is a college thing, so this is, I guess, a little bit different, right? You guys remember when Scott Skiles played for Michigan State and got in trouble with the drugs, and I think it was Illinois' band that played cocaine. Maybe it was Michigan. I thought it was Illinois' band that played cocaine whenever he was warming up in the background. Listen, I've seen high school games where things have been worse than that too, and it doesn't justify it. If it happened, then obviously I'm not sitting here to justify it. And from what I thought, it looked like that's what was going on. But at some point, I think you just kind of want everybody to understand, right? I mean, you got a kid that's really upset, and rightly so, but I don't think you need to crush another kid's career in the process. There's no way in the world I couldn't have dealt with either of it. I mean, I couldn't have been the kid at the free throw line or the kid that had done that, and the aftermath, I couldn't have dealt with any of it. So, obviously, kids are much more mature today, I guess, right? In some points than we were. There's no way I could have dealt with that. Anyway, what else we got here? Yeah, Gary Hudson says this actions were beyond stupid. At the very least, you should be not allowed to attend the rest of the season. I'm sure that's probably what's going to happen right there too. I mean, something major like that. I mean, you just don't do it. You don't do it. You do not do it. And it looked like, I agree, Gary. That's looked like what he was doing right there. Just the imitation of it alone. You cringe. It's cringeworthy stuff. It really is. How much did you notice in the stands when you were on the floor, JMV? I mean, nobody really gave a crap about me. So honestly, I mean, I didn't mean enough. You know, the game I don't think was meaningful enough to other people to like really get. What are you gonna call me, fat or something? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, stuff like that happened. I don't remember just how bad that it was. But one of the reasons why we don't remember is because it's not documented forever on tape. It's not on video forever. So it's just different, just a different era right now. But let's just face it, that's something that you just can't do. Something you just can't do. Let me see here. You should read Franklin's mother's post on Facebook. Classiest thing you'll ever read in this situation. And man, I'd agree. It'd be tough. I mean, it'd be tough to be parents of both sides. I mean, it really would. But you got to learn from it. Got to move on at some point here. And you're right, Darnell. There's always a camera somewhere. Always a camera somewhere. I mean, the other part of it is, at some point, I think we all kind of just act like human beings, don't we? Right? I mean, just kind of know that, you know, if you're setting out to make fun of somebody that's had epilepsy or having seizures, you don't do it. Right? You don't do it. So, just thought. Couple of thoughts right there on it. I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit later on today. All right, Colts today. Rick Venturi joins me. By the way, before I end this too, and I'm not in for the crushing of I mean, high school kids make stupid mistakes. Disciplinary, absolutely. A punishment, absolutely. But the continuation of crushing a kid nonstop on social media, I'm not down with. So that's just me. The kid should have to sit down with Franklin and his family and run. I mean, I completely agree with that. I always thought, I mean, sometimes bull crap happens, but man, if you can get everybody together and then, you know, kind of talk it out, learn from it, I think that's pretty cool. And we don't do enough of that today, you know? No matter what you think about, what you feel, we don't do enough of that today. We suck at communicating. You know, it's funny, too. I was saying this weekend. I think the world that I live in, the communication world, right, is like the worst of communication is the communication world. That's true. That is absolutely true. But I am all for that. All for it. So, disciplinary, if they obviously see fit, which they should, and, you know, not crushing the kid anymore on social media. Especially if you're adults, right? Anyway, a couple of thoughts on that. Hey, Notre Dame fans, congratulations. You get Clemson in the Final Four. They're a part of it, too. The bowl season is out. And we got Pacers talk. We got Colts talk later on today. Drop Offline Sports every morning right here. And we'll, I'm sure, talk about, you know, what took place over the weekend at Center Grove as well. But anyway, what else we got here? Well, thanks for the thumbs up here. Hey, by the way, too, I think I mentioned it and I forgot about it. The drop-off line, or not, the JMV Sucks show. The JMV Sucks show that was at the Mural National Center inside the Egyptian Room was awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I want to thank everybody that attended that. It was sold out. Great time. They're going to be back coming up in April. That's Yacht Rock Revue. It was a great time had by all, and I saw a lot of you out there, and I appreciate you guys being a part of it, buying the tickets, and spending a Saturday night with us because it was great, really was. Thanks to my friends at Live Nation, the Mirage, Jimi Hendrix, and the gang over there. Christian, awesome, absolutely. Aaron Mullen, awesome time with Yacht Rock Revue this weekend. You guys are great. Thank you for joining us today at 3. Gotta listen. Got to listen. Gotta talk about it. Dawn, good morning. Yeah, Mike, Colts are absolutely brutal, no doubt about that. Is Victor okay? We'll talk a little bit more about Victor. Did you guys notice on Friday, before I go, you had the release by the Pacers that said he's out indefinitely. Everybody freaked out. And then like 5 minutes later, Adrian Wojnarowski kind of cushioned the blow by saying no structural damage. He's just trying to work back into condition. Something going on there. Something's going on there. You want to know why? Because the Pacers, I think, saw the reaction. The oh crap reaction, and then immediately Wojnarowski had a little bit more information there to try to cushion the blow. Thought, We'll get to that later on today, too. Seltzer, Dwyer, you guys are awesome. Drop Offline Sports, bullseyeeventgroup.com. Next Colts home game is going to be a blast. Thank you, guys. Love you. Talk to you at 3.